Belgrade is no less compelling for its tumultuous past, blending high culture with a fun-loving spirit. You can sense this lust for life on Legia, the Bohemian Street, or the Splavovi, party boats that are moored on the Danube and Sava. Belgrade's fortress dominates the cityscape, while Orthodox churches and palaces for the Serbian royalty cropped up after Serbia won independence in the 19th century. Let's explore the best things to do in Belgrade. Number 10. Zmanski Cad, also known as Cage Oslobodenja, Quay of Liberation. This waterside promenade is the best place in Belgrade to take in the Danube. Starting just below the Gardos Tower is a long green area, with plane trees and sumptuous views of Europe's second longest river just where it joins with the Sava. These banks used to be flooded every year, but engineering works have raised the embankment, while the pedestrian path has been widened to accommodate leisurely waterside ambles. There are restaurants every few steps, many on barges and other old vessels, Splavovi, while a small fleet of boats are waiting if you'd like a trip on the Danube. Number 9. Republic Square. At the southern end of Knez Mihailova is Republic Square, with some of the city's most important landmarks and a business district where Belgrade is at its most dynamic. More than 20 trolleybus and bus lines converge at this one place, so it's the meetup of choice for many Belgradians. The Serbian National Theatre and National Museum are here, as is the Prince Mihailo Monument. Designed by the Italian sculptor Enrico Puzzi, this statue is of Mihailo Obrenović, Prince of Serbia twice in the mid-1800s and a key figure in the Balkans' independence from the Ottoman Empire. Number 8. St Mark's Church. This cavernous Neo-Byzantine church is one of the largest in Serbia, and although its outer structure was completed during the 1930s, interior works are ongoing. The sublime iconostasis, for instance, was only completed in the 1990s. The frame is marble, while the icons inside and the painting of the Last Supper were composed by Duro Radulovic, an academic painter from Belgrade. Work on the crypt began in 2007 under the narthex, and tombs of 19th-century clergy and Serbian royalty were transferred here. These had been in the old St. Mark's, founded directly after Serbian independence and wrecked during the German bombing of Belgrade in 1941. Number 7. Nikola Tesla Museum. This museum presents the life and work of the great physicist, inventor, and electrical engineer and Serbian national hero. The exhibition is in two main sections. The first is a study of Tesla the man, sourcing personal effects, photographs, and correspondence to paint a clearer picture of his life and travels. The second is an often interactive exhibition of his work with either originals, 3D renders, or fully functioning reproductions like an induction coil, producing discharges at 500,000 volts. For deeper scientific rigor, you can take the English-speaking tour given by students from Belgrade University's engineering department. Number 6. Gardos Tower. In the oldest part of Zemun, a monument from the days of the Austro-Hungarian Empire is lifted over the right bank of the Danube. The Gardos Tower is also known as the Millennium Tower, as it was built in 1896 to celebrate 1,000 years of Hungarian settlement on the Pannonian Plain. With an eclecticist design, it was constructed over the ruins of a medieval fortress and was one of several big projects around what was then Hungary to mark that anniversary. Inside is a small exhibition about the storied history of Zemun and Gardos, while you can head to the top for a supreme view of the Danube and the confluence. Number 5. Knez Mihailova Street. Extending diagonally through Stari Grad from the fortress to Republic Square, Knez Mihailova is a pedestrianized street and somewhere for Belgradians to shop and go out. On what is one of the most expensive streets in the city per square meter, Knez Mihailova has upmarket boutiques and international high street brands like Sephora, Zara, and Gap. These are joined by scores of restaurants and bars, so if you come almost any time of day or night, and you'll encounter throngs of shoppers, couples, or revelers. And towards the fortress, the way is lined with eye-catching rows of stuccoed neoclassical mansions with coins and cornices. Number 4. Legia. This island on the Sava has been reclaimed and turned into a peninsula, and is somewhere for Belgradians to let their hair down and be active. Even though Legia is in the middle of the city, it has been left to nature, and is still cloaked with mature elm and oak forest. On the south side, the Sava is impounded, forming the Savsko Jezero Lake. On any given summer's day, Legia is thronged with people jogging, rowing, and kayaking on the lake, playing golf, tennis, basketball, or just basking in the greenery. But it's the Pebble Beach that is the main draw, known as Belgrade Seaside and traced with bars and restaurants. These provide picnic tables and deck chairs, and are open into the night. Number 3. Church of St Sava, the largest Orthodox church in the Balkan region, and the second largest in the world. St Sava is an ever-present monument in Serbia's capital. High on the Vračar Plateau, you can see the church's white granite and marble walls from any approach to Belgrade, while the 50 bells that sound noon ring out across the city. The temple is built on the site where the Ottoman Grand Vizier Sinan Pasha burned St Sava's relics after his icon had graced flags during a Serbian uprising in 1594. Construction began in 1935, 340 years after that event, and ended in 1989. The biggest challenge was raising the central dome, all 4,000 tons of which was assembled on the ground and hoisted into place. Number 2. Skadar Legia. Car-free and paved with bumpy cobblestones, Skadar Legia has been a bohemian haunt since the 1800s and is Belgrade's answer to Montmartre. Like its Parisian counterpart, Skadar Legia's glory days were in the early 1900s when famous but cash-strapped Serbian singers, musicians, writers, and poets lived, worked, and performed here. That Belle Epoque spirit lingers in the iron gaslights, restaurant terraces, foliage, awnings, and the trompe-l'oeil facade on the opposing wall. Come for the cafe's nightlife, traditional Serbian food like rostilj, grilled meat, and to take in the art displays and street performers as you go. Number 1. Belgrade Fortress. On a tall ridge where the Danube and Sava rivers meet, Belgrade Fortress used to contain the entire city and has lived through 2,000 years of conflict. All of that bloodshed seems very distant when you see the young couples arm-in-arm in Kalemegdan Park, watching the sun go down over Zemun. They'll find perches on the ramparts and secluded cubby holes among the angular remnants of the anti-artillery bastions and ravelins built by the Ottomans in the early modern ages. There's history at every turn in the fortress, from the Roman well to the medieval gate of despot Stefan Lazarevic.